Hello friends, it's Peg, and today is all about ATCs, or all month is all about ATCs in June for Art Joy of Sharing. I'm starting out with a rainbow today because, it's all about pride, and I wanted to show my support of that movement. So here is my rainbow. I'm going to paint that down on my surface, which for today, day 3, is canvas. So I have glued a piece of canvas onto my ATC backer, and I'm just drying it down a little bit because, when you get that green and purple and blue all together, they do not always blend the way you think they're going to blend. So you want to make sure that your sections are partitioned off and dried a little bit. So as I'm working this and drying it down, I'm thinking about, well, what's my next step? Well, I'm going to reach for some stamps because it's all about pride. I'm going to reach for some hearts, because love is love. And I fully support whoever you want to love and care for. That's your choice. And I want to make sure that we all are in support of that. So getting my hearts and stamping that off on my rainbow. And then I'm going to take some gesso and I'm going to paint out the background with that white gesso and isolate the hearts, the colorful rainbow hearts. So if you're new to my channel and don't know about Art Joy of Sharing, we do this video live each week at 10:30 Central on Art Joy of Sharing. And Art Joy of Sharing is also a community on Facebook. So if you have posts that you want to post of your artwork, come and join us on Facebook, Art Joy of Sharing. And there'll be a few questions to answer. Just, tell us about you and we will let you into the group. And that's about it. This is an additional challenge this month. The ATC challenge is a daily challenge. We have a challenge, which is a step out challenge. There's 6 steps and 2 colors. We have a mood board. And so, there's lots of things to do, lots of things to share. And I want to encourage you to come and join us on Art Joy of Sharing. So I'm taking a black marker. This is a Posca pen, I believe, and I'm just marking around those hearts and isolating them from the background and adding a few little dots of white where I missed a few spots and, cleaning up the edges and all of that. So then I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to write my quote. I went looking for a stamp and did not find what I was looking for. But that really is no problem. I can just get a marker and I can write down the words that I'm thinking here, which is love is love. And I'm going to use a couple of different fonts and thicken those letters so that they can be seen. And then I decide I need something else on there. So I went in search of some more hearts. And I came up with some paper hearts and some wooden hearts. And I decided that I like the little wooden heart better. So I'm just going to tape some of those wooden hearts down onto a tool. This is a silicone tool, so yeah, I can heat it. It's not going to be bothered by the heat. And I'm using some StazOn ink on that wood. And then I'm going to get some clear embossing powder. And I'm going to emboss the surface with that heart. Wanted to make it a little bit glossy and stand out a little bit more. So there's my little wooden heart. I'm auditioning a few different things, and I decide I'm going to put it right in the middle of that O, because that's where I think it belongs. So that's about it for day 3. Then we move on to day 4. Now on the back of your cards, be sure and put your information so that when you're sharing, you can people can find who made that piece of art. So the next ATC was supposed to be paper bag. So I had a paper bag that I'd cut down, and I'm going to get a couple colors of blue and just brayer that onto my background piece, and stamping off a little bit, just making some more textural things, adding a little bit of that to the back of the card. Then I have my little bag that I had created, and I want to make it big enough, wide enough, to hold a domino. So I'm folding over the flaps and making it a little more dimensional so that it'll hold that domino. And I'm going to show you how I make these dominoes. I've got several different sizes. You know, you can make it any way you want, but I wanted something to put into that paper bag. So I'm cleaning off the domino with some hand sanitizer just so it's a clean surface. Sometimes you may want to hit it with a little bit of sandpaper, you know, just to take the glaze off of the top of the domino. So I'm coating that with some alcohol ink, and I'm drying it down with a cool setting on my hair dryer. You don't want to use heat, you just want a cool setting and blow some air. And I'm going to continue to add some colors. I want a little more of the blue-green involved here than just the yellow, just playing around. And then I'm going to get a stamp, and I'm going to stamp this star in the Stays On Red. And I'm moving that ink around a little bit where it didn't make a complete image. And going around the edges and, you know, finishing out this piece. Now you can wire this up. You can, you know, put a little, what do they call that? Jewelry finding on it, whatever you want to do. But, you know, I'm just making a domino. So I'm going to stamp some words, and they didn't turn out the best. So I'm just going to take my pen, a permanent pen, and write the words across that domino, and then I have to go in search of my dimensional adhesive. So I decided that the background was looking quite plain, and I wanted to spruce it up a bit, so I got some more ink pads out and decided to do a little bit of stamping on the background just to emphasize the star image, and I'm going to stamp onto the little paper bag, and I'll glue that down to the front. And I'm just taking that alcohol marker and going around the edge of both the front and the back, grunging it up a little bit more. And then I will glue it down onto the page. But I decided the page was still looking quite plain, so I just got a piece of paper. This is just gel printed paper out of my stash. And I'm going to put that down on the background. I'm going to take a marker and go around the star and add a few more splashes of that green sparkly color to the background. And that's about it for number 4 for Art Joy Sharing. I'm going to try to put some dimensional adhesive over the top. I'm struggling with the stuff that I have. It's kind of dried up, so I got to go find something else. So eventually I settle on a bottle of Judican's Diamond Glaze. This is a dimensional adhesive, and it doesn't matter what brand dimensional adhesive you have. They all work. The main thing is to get any bubbles out that you have on the surface, and then let that dry down until it's solid and hard. And it will dry clear, and you will have a lovely piece of art to put into the paper bag that you have on your ATC. And that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you will come and join us on Art Joy Sharing. If you're not already a member, you know, shoot us the questions and we'll get you in there. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.